Hi everyone, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and today someone is going to be celebrating a little bit too soon. Exactly when that's going to happen inside this replay remains to be seen. Today the hero is SeaHawkD of the European server, and they are playing in their K91 PT. This vehicle is a reward tank. It's a little bit of an enigma though. It kind of blends this tier 10 medium hull, the K91, down a tier, loses the turret, but gains some alpha damage, but also just gains a lot of firepower for tier 9. Now, of course, the K91 is fearsome at tier 10 with regards to its firepower. This vehicle has a little less DPM, but it's still staggering, 2,720 damage per minute, and the penetration, it's not too bad. We're talking about, on its standard rounds, 258, on its premium rounds, 315, and oh dear, I just noticed that SeaHawkD has only taken premium rounds, gold rounds, whatever you want to be calling them, into this battle. But with the K91 PT, when you get a large repair kit for free, it can cut down a significant amount of the cost of this tank, or at least you get just all the benefits and even more of having a large repair kit rather than using a small one. The K91 PT, I think, is one of the best tier 9 tank destroyers in the hands of a good player that also has all of the field mods on this vehicle. Now, whether or not SeaHawkD has all of his field mods on this tank, I don't quite know. But I can tell you that when you've got this thing fully tricked out with the final field mod, which actually increases the camera rating of the vehicle by 5%, this thing has sickeningly good camo rating, while also still having 390 meters base view range, which you can improve with crew skills and you can improve with one of the field mods to actually get this thing into a position where it really doesn't need to be using coated optics. My personal preferred way to be able to play this tank is using a gun rammer, vents, and then using either an exhaust or alternatively using a durability module for when you do get onto those city maps and you need to fight in close quarters combat. And this vehicle, it's not too bad in close quarters. While the hull of the vehicle is pretty tragic, the structure of this tank just around the gun is actually 260 millimeters thick. And because of its low profile, you can actually sometimes go and face hug vehicles that have poor amounts of gun depression, and then they can't even take on your rather squishy hull armor. All in all, the K91 PT, when I first played it, before the field mods, when I first played it, I felt it was really pretty horrible. However, I can tell you the field mods revolutionize this vehicle and give it more opportunity than ever to be able to play at decent distances. Another one of the field mods that makes this tank just so strong is the second one. It boosts the track health, but more importantly, it boosts the ground resistances of a tank destroyer by 15%. And you should be taking that on every single one of your tank destroyers. And it basically just makes every single TD significantly better, improving their mobility by 10 or actually by 15%, which is just outrageous when you think about it. It does make me feel a little bit sad when I'm playing on my free-to-play account and I have to play all of these vehicles with a handicap as I'm going through, because of course you can't blooming even take field mods until you've actually researched the entirety of the next tank, something that I really wish Wargaming would consider changing. It's bad enough playing a stock vehicle, let alone playing a stock vehicle and then having to grind 100 or 150,000 experience towards the next vehicle without just spending 40,000 to be able to get the second field mod and massively improve the vehicle's mobility. Talking about improving, I don't think SeaHawkD's chances of him winning this game are improving right now. Now that is because a huge glut of the enemy tanks are now focused on their base, and if they manage to get rid of the 7032 towards the west, then Seahawk is pretty much in like a 1 versus 6, if not a 1 versus 7 situation here. Luckily, however, his team are pushing through towards the cap circle, and so if they manage to take that, while hopefully SeaHawkD distracts all of the enemy that are just completely in front of him right now, then maybe they're still going to be able to win this battle. Seahawk is showing some good marksmanship here, combined with also just the really nice gun handling this vehicle has. 0.08 when turning the turret, or turning the gun in this case, and 0.16 when turning the hull and when moving forwards, means that this vehicle, while it's definitely not accurate at 0.4 accuracy, it actually has fairly nice gun handling and can allow you to be quite reactionary with your shots. And hopefully, SeaHawk's going to react by taking on this Tiger here. Decides not to blind fire in that situation. Maybe they're worried about running out of all these premium rounds that they've packed into their tank. Or alternatively, maybe just thinking that a better opportunity like the Leo is going to come. Sometimes just because there's an opportunity to blind fire doesn't mean that you should, because it does leave you at a weakness, and you'll be cursing your decision making if something like the Leo or a 1390 was to pop up. Alright, so SeaHawk's team are outnumbered by 5 vehicles here, and they pretty much eclipsed with regards to hit points, with the enemy team having nearly double, well only 2,000. But SeaHawk has it all to fight for right now as the King Tiger gets spotted. Fortunately for SeaHawk, it looks like the enemy team have had to split their forces, with the majority going back to be able to protect the cap circle, not wanting to venture forth in front of SeaHawk's gun and being distracted. And so that means that maybe he has an opportunity to be able to isolate and assassinate some of the tier 7s. So there we can see the weak hull armor, even the standard rounds on a King Tiger able to go through SeaHawk there. But luckily, the great rate of fire means that SeaHawk can finish off the Tiger before they reload. And take a look at the traverse speed of this vehicle. It's outrageously good when you get the vehicle fully set up. And SeaHawk's able to quickly turn around, and while he does take 350 damage from a Tiger there, that's a high roll with the 88, or alternatively, might have been using the derp gun, although I don't think it was the short barrel. Then SeaHawk is now taken a significant amount of damage. Their fuel tanks are also damaged as well, which can be a nightmare for Soviet vehicles, and SeaHawk will want to repair those as soon as they can, or they could be burning because of the lack of the fire extinguisher. So SeaHawk actually finds themselves, I believe, in a 1 versus 7 situation here. But if it was 1 versus 8, then let me know in the comments down below, quickly reducing it to a 1 versus 5, meaning that SeaHawk has everything to play for. SeaHawk has 772 hit points against the 3,357 that the enemy team have, using the auto-aim there to be able to finish off the tier 8 Czechoslovakian tank destroyer, now turning their attention towards the M4190 while being flanked by the Leo. Luckily, the round doesn't enter the vehicle. None of these rounds setting them on fire. And here is a Progetto that is managing to now dump rounds into SeaHawk. And we can see this Progetto has 3 marks of excellence on their barrel. And what is this? They're doing some kind of a dance in front of SeaHawk? Well, SeaHawk, how about you reload a lot quicker than the Progetto probably anticipated there, with the Progetto looking like they were celebrating a little bit too soon. SeaHawk now bounces off the Leo from the rear, doesn't quite manage to roll high enough or ram to be able to finish off the Leo. Got to watch out for the Liberté, and I like SeaHawk's focus here to be able to get back into cover, to get their armor towards their Liberté, which could be able to finish them off in a single shot. But the Leo also, with the 100mm caliber gun, had enough alpha damage to be able to finish off SeaHawk as well. SeaHawk now puts a round into the dirt with 7 rounds remaining. But considering the Liberté has only got 480 hit points, that should allow SeaHawk to be able to even miss a few rounds. Okay. No more rounds missed, okay, SeaHawk. You got to hit at least 2 of these 6. Hopefully this one's going to go through the side. There we go. And now it is neck and neck. Both vehicles on a one-shot. SeaHawk having vanquished 8 of the enemy team, now only has to put 1 more round in against the Liberté to take down a glorious 1 versus 7, competing for the one that everybody wants, the Kolobanov's medal. Alright, so SeaHawk ricochets off the turret of the Liberté, now with only 4 rounds left. Please don't turn this into like a baseball moment, SeaHawk, okay? I don't think my heart can take it. You have been on an absolute crusade in this battle to be able to get your team back into it, and I don't think I want to see another heartbreak with regards to the Kolobanov's medal. But I did call this video "Don't Celebrate Too Soon." The Progetto celebrated. Will SeaHawk be celebrating? Well, we're going to have to find out very soon, as now the Liberté has left the cap circle and ventures over towards SeaHawk. Now the Liberté has a bit of a weak point on top, so if SeaHawk can manage to hit that, then they should be able to finish off the Liberté. The K91 does have all the armor, so as long as SeaHawk doesn't expose their hull, they should be absolutely fine to ricochet off using the structure of this tank. Wow, those new outlines really help to be able to figure out where the enemy is over a ridge line. Oh my word, you could cut the atmosphere with a knife right now. It's so thick. My heart rate is starting to build, even though I have watched this replay before. Not quite being able to fathom the kind of pressure that Seahawk is on now. Looks like the Liberté missed. I think Seahawk heard the shot, so he's actually going to go forwards and try and find a shell here on the Liberté. Puts one into the dirt. Oh, no. And now Seahawk, it's baseball, mate. 3 strikes. And then I'm not sure how you're going to be able to deal with a Liberté. I guess you probably might be able to ram from behind, but this isn't a heavy tank. It only weighs 40 tons, and good luck trying to take on the big French heavy tank within that regard. So the Liberté, 96 hit points. Seahawk reverses slowly but surely up, finds a pixel on the top of the Liberté, takes the swing. It isn't going to be a 3-strike policy here, and Seahawk secures the 9th kill with 6,000 damage dealt, winning a 1 versus 7 situation in an absolute sweaty round of World of Tanks. And my favorite thing about this replay was not just that 1 versus 7, it was watching clearly a very good Progetto, if they've got 3 marks of excellence, messing about in front of Seahawk, and Seahawk was having none of that, brutally finishing them off, dealing with the Leo behind while also dealing with the Liberté. And Mr. Progetto, you know, you shouldn't raise your gun. You shouldn't do a dance in front of a tank, especially one that is played by the kind of caliber of player as Seahawk, as they are going to make you look very foolish, especially when this one ends up on YouTube. So unsurprisingly, an ace tanker here for Seahawk for 1,550 base experience, and looks like they also hit a blind shot there with the 6,329 damage dealt. And look at these medals, the Radley Walters medals for 9 kills on the enemy team. The Kolobanov's medal for standing alone against at least 5. In this case, I think at least 6 or 7. A defender's medal for protecting the cap circle. A steel wall for ricocheting 11 rounds in this vehicle. Blocking 1,600. Enough to just keep the gun in the game long enough to deliver a high caliber with 6,329. Seahawk, the only thing that I didn't like about this game is that you fired 126,000 credits worth of ammunition against a lot of tanks that really didn't need it. But then again, seeing how I'm such an idiot and I would spend 5 million credits on a T95 style just last weekend, who am I to judge what players are going to choose to spend their currency on? SeaHawkD, thank you so much for bringing my attention to this game in Twitch chat just this week. It's always wonderful to get replays submitted by the World of Tanks community, and I absolutely loved seeing you not only take on so many opponents, so calm and calculated, but also putting that dastardly Progetto in their place, cementing the fact that you definitely shouldn't celebrate early in any game, and especially World of Tanks. Anyway, ladies and gents, boys and girls, that was it for today. Really hope you enjoyed this game. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. And if you're watching the video as it goes live on Sunday, later on there will be a World of Tanks Tech Tree Showcase featuring the Stridsvagn 103B. And so if you want to see me play one of the best tier 10 tank destroyers in the game, and also the most accurate tank in the game, then swing by twitch.tv/QuickyBaby and I'll be showcasing the entirety of the Swedish tank destroyers for all of you. So really looking forward to seeing you all live right now on twitch.tv/QuickyBaby. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.